I'm Will Cedric.
I'm Gabe.
And this is Inside the Bot. Hello. Welcome back. It's been a week.
It has actually been a week this time. So, the title this week for the show...
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, do you know what it is?
I didn't make one up.
It's called Sweaty and Sweary.
Why?
Because I felt that in the beginning part, there's a lot of sweat from some of the candidates.
Okay.
Roboteers, sorry. Mm. And there's also a bit of swearing.
That ruins the mood.
It does, doesn't it? You get put off your crumpet.
But it's good to see the Roboteers getting stuck in.
They are getting obviously a bit more passionate. So Sweaty and Sweary, this one's called.
It's a good one.
Do you like that one?
But people might think that's us.
No, we're not Sweaty and Sweary.
But when they see the title...
No, because it's BattleBots Sweaty and Sweary, not Inside the Bot. We're good, clean lads.
Okay.
Exactly.
We're clean inside
We've made that. We've cleaned it.
Which is always important.
Exactly.
Right.
So...
What's going on, Gabe, in the shop?
The shop. The shop's been pretty exciting. It's been all about pneumatics this week. Mm-hmm. And let's see, like from 55 bar to 60 bar of pressure. That's an almighty amount of pressure. So CO2. Remember, the Americans aren't allowed that. It gets too cold. But in Britain, we're allowed CO2. So I've been practicing with CO2 pneumatics in the shop and creating something pretty special.
Good results?
Good results indeed. A lot of laughing, a lot of freezing gas coming out of it, but always wearing safety gloves, so
excellent.
It's all good. So hopefully we'll see some results from pneumatics very soon. I do like my pneumatics, but I do need a little bit of help. So
tricky stuff. I mean, you should be pretty good at pneumatics.
Oh no,
you got the flippers.
I'm pretty good with them, but this is I'm starting to do a little bit more. After seeing robots like Blacksmith, after seeing some of those ones...
Our personal hero.
Well, yours. So after seeing them sort of start to articulate and sort of become alive, I've decided to try and use those skills and pneumatics and put them into a robot. So that's going to be exciting.
Pretty exciting.
So that's the shop.
Well, I've been in the shop.
Oh, have you?
Oh, I've been in the office.
Yeah.
I've been making a lot of social media accounts.
Have you? What have you done?
I've been busy.
So yours is a different type of shop. Yours is sort of a virtual shop.
A kind of, a bit of a nerdy,
so tell us
shop.
What have you done?
I've made a YouTube, we've got a Twitter, we've got a Facebook. It's always Inside the Bot or Inside the Bot as one word.
So we've got Inside the Bot as one word, and we've got a Twitter.
We've got a Twitter,
a
Facebook, YouTube.
What are we going to be doing with YouTube? Because
I'm going to put the podcasts are going to be on there, and then if we go out to live events, we'll have some videos.
Oh, we're going to do some live events, so that would be genius. So we're never going to be watching us sat in the studio. That would be
freaky.
That would be crazy. So, but maybe we might well do some Inside the Bot. We might get inside people's bots on YouTube.
On YouTube. So look out for that.
And have a rummage about.
Rummage about in their bots.
Lovely. That's going to be amazing.
I've been putting us on a lot of podcast sites as well.
That's good.
Hopefully, we'll get us out there. We'll get some more questions, more listeners. Excellent stuff. And I made a banana loaf. That wasn't in the office, though. That was in the kitchen.
That's still the shop.
Important, though, because I brought it in today. And it's fueling Inside the Bot today.
It's nice. I love it. So
that's our sponsor, Banana Loaf.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, brought to you by... Banana loaf.
Okay, is that your mum's recipe?
That is my mum's recipe.
Nice. Say thank you to
Mrs. Will.
Mrs. Will, excellent. Okay, right, there you go.
You know what else has happened?
What else?
Had a bit of Robot Wars news.
What? Robot Wars news?
Robot Wars news.
That is an amazing set of news.
So today,
I'm super happy about that.
Dara O'Brien tweeted.
Are you his friend?
I'm not his friend.
Oh, okay. It's not so much.
I just follow him. More of a stalker.
You've been following him about?
I've been following Dara, and he said, Robot Wars, end of July.
Well,
quality.
That is going to be genius.
He said he thinks.
Oh, okay. Well, let's have a... let's hope...
Hope it's not a guess.
Yes, but we've had, haven't we? What have we seen?
We've seen some teaser trailers.
Teaser trailers have come out on the BBC, BBC Two, and some BBC One.
There were two really good ones.
Okay. What was the good ones?
There's Thor, which is like a big old axey hammer looking thing.
Yeah.
And a guy smiling at it, kind of weird. They're quite weird. I recommend you watch the trailers.
They are quite weird, aren't they?
They've got kind of romantic music set over them, kind of love songs.
And
then they cut to scenes of utter destruction.
Exactly, but I love that because Robo Wars doesn't ever take itself too seriously.
No, and it's really cool.
And it's going to be really good. So we had
Thor. Yeah. We had one which I think there's a weird looking guy on it, just smiling creepily.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to cut in there, right, quite firmly, and say that guy is probably when I saw him, I thought, he's amazing. He's such a good looking chap. Lovely smile.
Is that the bald guy?
No, not him. Not the one on the end. Not that dude.
Okay.
The other guy, honestly, I was a bit blown away. And then, do you know what? There's a team with a girl on it.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
I hope she's driving the robot.
I'll be furious. If she's not driving the robot. If she's not operating that robot, I will be furious.
Because she looks like she had some Wii U skills.
She's definitely got Wii U skills.
So
she can. I've only heard that she on Super Mario Kart 8.
Yeah.
Amazing game. She can best a lot of the Japanese players, which apparently are the ones to beat. So there you go. So That's the news. Robo Wars is coming.
I would like to add that very attractive man you were mentioning.
Yes.
Is you.
Well, there you go.
But that's not my opinion. That was you stated he was attractive.
Exactly.
So that was you, and I think it's probably the robot Sabretooth, judging by the fact that it said Sabretooth on the side of it in the fight scene. So I paused.
Did you?
I had a little look.
Okay. I didn't want it because I didn't want to give myself a spoiler.
I thought I'd check it out.
Okay. Well, that's exciting.
And then there was one more.
Storm 2.
Storm 2.
Storm 2
old with a spinner.
So Storm 2 is I think it did amazingly well. Sort of last run of Robot Wars. Sometimes a bit of a controversial team. Some say ooh, some say ooh, like that. Then they mix it up a bit. And they've been considered sometimes the bad boy. You know, we have the bad boy of Robot Wars.
I do like a bad boy.
Well,
not in that.
They're not always bad boys like we've just worked out. The same as the Complete Control chap. You know,
seems quite friendly.
Might mess with the recycling, but he's a really lovely chap, really. So anyway, that's all coming. But let's not.
Storm 2 though, same as Photon Storm.
Oh yes, sorry.
Same team?
Yep, sorry.
So
same team.
We've got a BattleBots team definitely doing both.
In both competitions?
Which would be really cool.
Storm 2 and Photon Storm, yeah, definitely.
Do you think that would be a good comparison of how the level of competition in Robot Wars and BattleBots?
Oh, I think so, definitely, yeah. No, they're going to be very similar, I think.
Yeah.
They're going to be very similar. Right. We're yet to see that, we don't know.
So that was the 3 teaser trailers, and they are on YouTube, and I think everyone can view them.
Yep, all you need to do is go in and put Robot Wars 2016, and they will pop up.
Sweet. Well, look out for those. Shall we get on to BattleBots?
Okay, let's go straight into it. Sweaty and Sweary, this one's
Sweaty and Sweary, Season 2, Episode 2. It wasn't called Sweaty and Sweary by them. I don't know why they missed a trick there. They called it There Will Be Blood.
Oh.
The qualifying round concludes.
And they said there's going to be bot blood, which actually I've got a bit of a fear about.
That sounds...
I think it was Kenny Florian. He said about bot blood, and I thought, oh, that could be painful.
See a doctor if you've got bot blood.
Honestly, if you've got bot blood...
Look out for the bot blood.
Yes.
Christ. Oh, dear. Right, anyway. So match 1. Mobius and Brutus.
Okay.
Shall we start with Mobius?
Yes.
That is a full-body spinner, painted green, no chimney.
Do you know what? They really missed a trick. Without a chimney, you're never going to be able to self-fry.
It's just not cosy enough.
But more amazing than that, 72 volts in its motor, apparently. I'd love to know what motor it was. So if you're out there, the Mobius team, it'd be lovely to know what's inside your bot, motor-wise.
Yeah, get in touch.
We'd
love to know.
We would love to know.
And then we got Brutus, which is the gangster entry this year.
Yes, indeed.
2 golden guns on top.
With recent shenanigans with guns.
It's a bit extreme.
And I actually felt, well, he's pointing them at me.
I know, I was threatened. But we're in the UK, maybe it's a bit different over here. We're a bit scared of them.
So maybe they've got more of a comme-ci, comme-ça approach to guns. Yeah.
But I don't know, it's not really advocating gun safety. He's pointing them at a cameraman.
No, exactly. Now, I believe them to be paintball guns. Well, we weren't firing paintballs, though. But why not house them So they have like two barrels sticking out, rather than looking like you've just strapped two pistols to the top of your bot.
It does look a bit odd.
This dude was the person who had the funny red hair, who said in the season 1, I didn't like that late blow with the lockjaw person. You know the shenanigans, remember that?
Was that with the handshake?
When he refused to this is the dude that refused to shake the other person's hand.
Takes his BattleBots quite seriously.
He takes his BattleBots pretty seriously.
It's got a vertical spinner on the front. We should mention the guns weren't the main weapon. They're just for show.
They're just for show.
A vertical spinner.
Yep. And what motors we have inside, I don't know. But, not really a clue. But anyway, let's get into the fight.
The match. Oh, before the match, though. Mobius's entrance.
Oh, we got to do that. The dude with the guitar.
There was a dude with a guitar.
There was another dude who was grinding a tiny piece of metal, which was exciting.
And there was kind of like a slave chap.
I wasn't.
Which concerned me. But it added to the show, and I liked it.
It added to the show, and honestly, if you don't want to carry your own bot, you need to have
got to have a little manslave.
Got to have a little manslave.
Turned up in a coffin. Rather apt. I think he probably left in a coffin.
Probably left. Yeah.
But we'll
definitely
get to that. Right, the fight started. Straight away.
So we've got Mobius spinning up to using its 72-volt motor. Then it vomits. It actually vomits its own battery.
Actually, you say that. You say vomits. I think Brutus shot some fake bullets.
Oh.
It completely crapped itself. And some batteries blocked out.
So actually what we're saying...
It was scared.
It was... So... and actually, I'm sure that's LiPo batteries. And I reckon they must have not been secured properly inside that robot. Because they if you look at it when it turned upside down, it wasn't even a great deal of space. Those things must have just burst and shredded out the side with the force of that thing spinning.
Do you think it was a case of you tried to spin up too quickly or anything like that?
No, not at all. Something catastrophically broke inside that robot.
No testing or...
Well, again, hopefully they would have spun it up at some point, because that would be crazy not to have done. But it just absolutely... It just committed suicide.
Just cracked itself.
And died. And it wasn't doing anything then. And then we had Brutus come in, do a huge hit. That was a great hit. Knocked it just...
Kind of looked like it was going to...
into the air,
on top on the wall, but
and then it ended up just with a.
It did come down, didn't it? And then it
came down, and then it's got a monster lipo fire going at that point.
Yeah.
You see
all the smoke.
So much smoke coming out of that thing that was completely destroyed.
Yeah, it was a pretty good fight though.
I love a bit of we love some fire.
It was a nice show to it,
and nice entrance from the Mobius team.
So on to match 2.
Match 2, we've got Ghost Raptor and Son of Waiachi.
A bit of a grudge match.
Okay, and this is where I got Sweaty and Sweary from. The pair of them, both teams are very sweaty, and Waiachi and, in fact, Ghost Raptor are quite sweary.
But it was really a grudge match. They don't like Ghost Raptor, do they?
Well, remember last season, Ghost Raptor beat the Waiachi team, didn't he?
And they were not happy. So Ghost Raptor itself, same as last year?
I reckon Ghost Raptor is exactly the same robot as last year.
The spinner.
Remember last year the spinner broke because it was quite light, and it just snapped. It snapped first off. So after that, Master Chuck adapted his robot to meet the different requirements and needs of who he was fighting, and
still quite a complicated design.
It is a very complicated design. So you've got like a lifter or an arc. So, what is it?
It's kind of like an articulated spinner, though.
I couldn't get my lips around the word articulated, but now I've done that. It is a difficult word, isn't it?
Yeah. That's a bit of a theme that runs through today's episode. Complicated designs. Kind of coming unstuck.
Right, okay, but then, to be fair, Ghost Raptor did very well last year. Let's go on to Son of Waiachi for a minute. Look what's been fielded. This monster.
Yeah, but it's a very simple monster. On the look of it.
But it's a brute, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got those spinning hammers. We saw this when it destroyed the Creepy Crawly team, which are obviously very light robots. But it nevertheless packs an enormous punch. It's very low to the ground. It's got a wedge in case the spinning rotor stops.
Yeah.
But again, Ghost Raptor also has a rotor. It doesn't look as robust or strong.
No, it's like it's done everything that Son of Waiachi has, but kind of in a more roundabout way.
Yeah, definitely. So Chuck is going for a lot more. He wants a lot more activity with his robot. He doesn't want to be just just having the spinner. He wants a spinner. He wants to be able to articulate it. He wants to be able to lift. He wants to be able to move. And that's how he did so well last year. So let's do the fight then.
So it was very one way.
Do you think?
I think. Oh yeah.
Oh, hang on a second. So Waiachi is a multi-bot.
Oh yeah, forgot the mini Waiachi.
It's got a tiny Waiachi bot.
Tiny mini bot.
Which the idea of that tiny bot is to get underneath the opponent and wedge them off the ground with their wheels. That's quite a good idea. And
it nearly came unstuck.
It did. It nearly did. Well, let's go. We'll get to that part. So you think one-sided. Son of Waiachi spins up.
Yeah.
Goes
straight away. Ghost Raptor's not spinning up.
No.
And is that intentional? Or do you think?
Well, I think it was. I think it was intentional because halfway through the fight, Chuck says, "Right, let's spin up," doesn't he?
Yeah.
So he probably chose tactically not to spin up. He thought, actually, let's take a few blows and try and break Waiachi.
So and Son of Waiachi did get some good blows straight away. Got a couple of good hits.
There were some big hits coming in there.
And then the mini bot from Sons of Waiachi got underneath the big bot after that.
It did.
And it got a bit stuck for a while.
He was actually stuck on his own mini bot.
Now, I love a mini bot as much as the next man. I've often said 2 bots are better than 1, haven't I, Gabe? I'm always... I'm always saying how brilliant multiple bots are. But it got stuck under Son of Waiachi, the big bot.
And there was a bit of shenanigans there.
There was some shenanigans.
And I thought they were going to get stuck.
It could have been hilarious.
That would have been a terrible badness, wouldn't it? But
it would have been so
luckily, they managed to wiggle off each other and carry on the business.
And then the mini-bot kind of just ran under Ghost Raptor's feet.
And then it wedged him off, because he actually says, I got him pinned.
And he did wedge him.
Now, at this point, Ghost Raptor has its front right wheel is broken, the chain is off, and you can't really see that at this point. And then he says, right, let's spin up. Yeah. So he spins up and immediately breaks himself.
It looked really bad.
It wasn't going very well at all, was it? That was all over the place. So it
reminded me of a helicopter crash.
It did, didn't it?
It was kind of like, you're like, oh my God, everything's going wrong.
It's all gone brrr, and everything was breaking.
Yeah.
And then it ended up with its actual own wedge wedged up in the air.
It looked really limp.
In a sort of salute. And it was...
it didn't look well at all.
It didn't look well at all, no. And that was it.
That was the end of the year. Oh, speaking of the Waiachi team, did you see the little internet tidbit where they said the company they all work for or own or something makes the hammer that Thor uses? Not Thor from Robot Wars, but Thor in the Marvel films.
What, their company makes Thor's hammer?
Yeah, they machine his hammer.
Did they?
How cool is that?
That is amazing.
So you said, initially, we thought they make robots for other people.
Well, they do make robots for other people. I'm sure they do. But they probably make...
They make awesome stuff, like Thor's hammer.
Amazing.
On to match number 3. That was Yeti against Lockjaw.
Ooh, so let's do... Which one should we do first? Let's do Lockjaw first. Lockjaw, old school robot, done loads of fights. It's always been fairly similar in its design. Got some mag motors
in front of it.
Yeah, that's the Lockjaw. That Lockjaw, yeah, definitely. Very similar to that. It's got spring-loaded this time around. It's got I can see 2 mags in there, which are obviously powering the jaws. There's an immense amount of power in these drivetrain of this thing as well, because in that internet video, you see it go under a crate, and then it lifts up, and it's not flipping with its actual jaw; it actually drives its back wheels up. That's a very powerful drivetrain.
So the bite on that is that a hard clamp on it, or is it?
No, I'm not convinced it is. I think it's actually more of a spring flipper. However,
the flipper is the real weapon in it.
The real weapon, and it's actually pretty potent. However, I do think that you could probably wind that back in, and it would bite fairly nicely.
What about the lifting mechanism?
Well, we didn't get a chance to see that, and I'm not even sure it can.
No?
I would.
You don't think that whole thing pivots upwards? Or?
No, well, it might well do, mightn't it? But obviously, it didn't do it, so it must have broken. Or it doesn't.
Because I was expecting sort of like a complete control sort of thing.
Do you know what? So was I, and it didn't do that.
Didn't really.
But he did take some pretty big hits.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Let's talk about now Yeti. Do you know what? When I first saw Yeti, I thought, ugh. That's what I thought. Honestly,
that's quite a detailed appraisal.
I I just thought, it's a bit boring.
It is a bit boring.
Why is there so much length in it? What's all that back there in its back?
I don't know that we need a robot like this in BattleBots.
Yeah, but
we got plenty of other quite interesting robots.
Do you know what?
Maybe we do need a robot.
When we get
just a normal.
When we get onto the fight, we're going to show how well it did. But actually, do you know what? It's got a fairly handy drum spinner on this robot, and those articulated arms are very powerful.
But it did look,
I just think, I just think they could have done. There's so much more they could have done with that.
Yeah.
It's just a rectangle with a nice picture on the top.
Which isn't what I thought they were going for. The selection, whatever they are, the selection committee. I didn't think they'd go for that sort of thing.
Oh, well, we don't know whether...
But maybe they get thousands like that and they have to pick one, and that was...
Possibly, yeah.
But I don't know.
Or they may have done an amazing team application.
Do you know anything about the team itself behind it?
No, do you know what? I haven't got a clue. No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's been in BattleBots before when he was 16, it says, but I don't know.
Oh, so maybe he's got some good pedigree and...
I think he's won a lot of shows, actually. He did say... No, he says that I've won a lot of previous shows that have been, not on TV. So
oh, yeah. So he's
got a pedigree.
He can build a solid robot.
So people know, if you get him on, he's going to build a solid robot, and it's going to be half decent.
And you need that.
We've
seen...
You definitely do need that.
The ultra-violence.
Because you're going to get let down really badly. Imagine if you said, oh, that's an amazing robot, yeah, bring it, and then 2 days before you come, he goes, oh, sorry, mate. I couldn't manage it. Then he's not done anything.
And that happens 48 times.
You would be, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there's got to be, obviously, a bit of trust. Let's go on to the fight.
The fight was a bit of a titanic battle.
Do you know what?
I'd say.
Definitely it was.
It was hard fought on both sides.
And
a really close fight. I really enjoyed it. This is my favourite one of the...
This is your favourite fight. And I definitely agree with you. That drum spinner is so powerful. And it really tears into Lockjaw. But actually, Lockjaw... solid robot. It's getting a wheel taken out, but it's not taken off. It's just stopped. But that doesn't stop it because it's got independent drivetrain all the way
Shall we
down.
talk about the whole fight in order?
Oh, okay.
Rather than just talking about bits of the fight that we enjoyed, Gabe.
Okay, let's go back.
A bit overexcited.
I got too excited. I'm sorry. Go back.
So at the start of the fight, Lockjaw tries to go in for a flip.
Oh, he does.
But he misses.
And do you remember what we said about flipping? Wait till they're properly on you.
Yeah, he didn't really do that.
He went off too early, didn't he?
It was a premature flip.
It was a premature flip. Classic problem. He went off too early.
He missed the flip, then Yeti got some good...
Oh, that drum's really going for it. I like the way he pulls his arms back. He pulls his arms out of the way.
Oh, yeah, he gets them out of the way. And then
gets them right out of the way so he can do some proper damage.
Do you think so?
He's like that. Oh, had him in the air.
The drum on the front will push them upwards off the arena.
Yes, it's...
So to have the arms above kind of pushes them back down?
Possibly, but I thought he had his arms right the way back over. Okay. So they were well out the way, weren't they?
But maybe that's... Do you think that would be a good strategy to use?
Possibly, but you don't really want to be too bashy with your own arms, do you? You don't want to be putting them in harm's way. If you can help
I suppose, but imagine if you've got them against the side.
No, definitely.
And you're holding the arms above them, and they can't go anywhere. You're just ramming against the side of them, that might tearing a wheel off.
And by the look of him, those arms, he could probably actually lift the robot up as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, he does. He lifts himself.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? They're his self-righting arms to go back over. Not that he needs them because he can run both ways up.
So he gets the wheels on.
Yep.
On Lockjaw.
Yeah.
Exposed wheels.
Yep. Well, everyone's got exposed wheels.
I've warned everyone about these.
You've warned everyone, and the only team that have been listening recently are the Brazilians.
Obviously, they took my exposed wheel awareness course.
Good course, by the way.
Good course, great course.
Only €63 for that course.
€63, which in the UK can buy you a house now.
Oh, indeed.
Brilliant stuff.
Let's not get political.
Political. So, yeah, the jaw was kind of broken.
Well, yeah, it wasn't obviously coming back in again.
To be coming
but he's
back
getting some really nice clamps in there now, isn't he? He's clamping. He starts to dominate.
He's just, he's like a tired boxer leaning against the other guy, but he's making headway.
He is making headway. I love it when he takes him up to the hammer and gives him a hammering.
Takes him up to the hammer, hammers him up.
Knocking him.
Takes him up to the screws him up.
Oh, he's a screw, doesn't he? He
screws him in. I noticed when they're by the screws, there's a chain on the arena floor. I couldn't think which one of them that would be from.
Is there a chain on the arena floor?
There's a chain on the arena floor.
Interesting indeed, because
it doesn't look like Lockjaw has any kind of...
Not externally, and Yeti does have chain.
on its drive there.
On its
and it
wheels.
was getting pushed around a lot. So
No,
maybe
we may well have lost a chain. Interesting.
that was just something I noticed.
That's a good one. A nice
There you go.
spot there.
You didn't see that.
No, I didn't see that. No, I'm furious. Right.
And then Lockjaw started smoking up.
Oh, Lockjaw starts to...
That was on the damaged wheel as well, wasn't it? I think that was the speed controller.
Yep,
That's the thing.
That's your speed controller. That's your magic smoke. So a little bit of smoke coming out. Not a lipo fire, but that is something. Or could even be a motor burning out. So it depends on what it is. We're not sure what that is. But if it's taken a big blow and they're still trying to spin it, which they would be, because it's going to be spinning because the rest of the thing's driving, it might well start to smoke and burn out.
And I thought the Yeti drum, by the end of that fight, looked absolutely trashed.
It did look pretty trashed.
I don't know what it's made out of.
It's made of aluminum.
So that would get trashed.
It would get trashed, but it depends on the type of aluminum. 7075 is a quality grade of aluminum, and it would last a lot longer.
I can imagine whatever they're making that jaw out of is at least as strong, if not stronger, though.
The jaw will be wear plate steel. It'll be armour plating. So it's going to be...
That's going to grind out that aluminium.
If that thing's spinning, and it's just going to be tearing great chunks out of it. And it did look pretty mullet.
It looked so trashed. Do you think they'll have spares of those?
Oh, well, I would hope so. Yeah, I would hope so.
Right, so that was the fight. I mean...
So this one went to
battle, went to a judge's decision.
Now, what did you think of the decision?
I knew that it would be this decision.
Yeah, no, I know that, because we were talking, and I thought...
This comes back to last episode, when we were looking at Chomp and Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
That was the fight, wasn't it?
Yeah, because you were furious with that fight.
Well, I wasn't, because once you know what the judges are looking for, which is main weapon damage, then you can kind of see why the fights go these ways. And it's great that they look for that, because then that means, one, you have to make sure your primary weapon works.
Yeah.
Which is so boring when they don't, and it's just a push match.
Exactly.
And it's great that they look for that. And then, two, you get bots getting smashed up.
Exactly. So now that tells us that Chomp landed those amazing hammer blows, which is why she won.
Which I thought, I didn't think at the time. I was annoyed at the time.
You were seeing,
but then looking back on it,
now
you can see why.
You've eaten your words now.
I'm not going to eat my words. But...
So now we've got... So actually, do you know what I thought here? I actually thought to myself that Lockjaw did dominate the fight. We had got great hits from the arena, we had the screws, we had the hammering,
pushing him around.
We had the biting. But as we know now, the judges look for damage with a primary weapon.
And you've got to look at that wheel and say that was trash.
Exactly. So that's the key. So
and then do you reckon, would they say that the damage inflicted on Lockjaw's weapon, i.e. it not coming down and flipping, was damage caused by Yeti?
Oh, definitely.
As well, so...
he's got, so Lockjaw's lost its main weapon, lost its wheel, job done.
Makes perfect sense.
Does.
Went with Yeti and it was unanimous. So they all seem to be singing from the same hymn sheet now.
Yep.
Perfect. On to match 4 then, Gabe. And this was a great fight. Mega Tento against Poison Arrow.
With an air buddy.
With an air buddy.
Yay.
They're back. And we're yet to see one do anything spectacular.
And it still did nothing. Well, let's talk about the robots.
Don't get to the fight yet.
Let's talk about the robots.
Mega Tento, I love this robot.
Do you love it?
It's sandpit based trap and chew.
Is that what you called it? Is that your...
I called it sandpit based. They'll call it a...
Where did trap and chew come
Trap
from?
and chew. That's what it is, yeah.
Did you come up with that?
Yeah. It's a trap and chew bot.
That's an amazing type of bot. A trap and chew bot.
It's a whole genre of bot. There's only one of them, but...
Trap and chew.
Now, I think this is such a great concept.
Well, actually, because this used
I really like it.
And this one used to be, is a bigger version of a robot called Tentamushi, which is pretty much an identical robot.
Also sandpit based, I believe.
Sandpit based with the trap and chew.
With trap and chew.
And
it's just fun.
Definitely it's fun. And it looks cool.
It's not going to win BattleBots, but it's cool.
No, it's going to be an amazing crowd puller because people love it. It's big and it's red. There you go. You love your red robots.
Red robots are the best
Kids
robots.
love red, apparently. Actually, that's why they make their sandpits so red.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm learning something every day. Let's look at the other one.
Poison Arrow. This is a poor man's Minotaur. With an air buddy.
Poor man's Minotaur with an air buddy.
That is exactly what I've got written down.
Do you know what? I'm This looks pretty small, doesn't it? And it might be the picture.
It might be, but I don't think that's to scale. Because the air buddy would be huge in that case.
You're right. I was just going to say it looks like a featherweight. But it's not. It's poor scaling from the picture. So maybe I should move closer to it.
Yeah.
And then it looks bigger.
Just ignore the air buddy.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I've lost all my sense of scale, to be honest.
Just trust me, it's normal robot sized.
Right.
And on TV, of course, it looked very small because Tentamushi is a sand pit. Mega Tento.
This is called Mega Tento. Tentamushi is the old
Well, you
version.
confused me there.
Exactly.
And I think they might... Are they Team Tentamushi?
They may well be.
I think that word has been ingrained into my brain somehow.
From a young age. So let's go on to the fight with these two guys. There's 4 fights here, compressed right down into really quick fights, because BattleBots want to fit them on to the show.
Yeah, but we're spending like hours talking about each one. Don't worry, guys.
We're not. Mega Tento.
They got trapped. It trapped him. And it was really cool. And I was like, oh, yeah, now he's going to get mushed.
And
it didn't really work. But it was still cool.
It was cool. A lot of good trapping. But
a little camera angle inside.
And you know what? Mega Tento stood up to that drum really nicely. Didn't really have any damage at the end of it.
The sandpit was a bit damaged, I think.
Oh, was it?
But I think they're quite cheap.
Just put a new
sandpit.
Yeah, you could have put a
new
eyes
on it.
Let's move on to this fight. I want to get on to the next fight.
The drum got good hits. Went to a judges. Poison arrow through. Next fight was Overhaul.
Now this was a fight I was looking forward to. This fight. 2 really good robots.
I want to say one of my favourites.
One of your favourites?
Which one's
favourites.
that
one? What, Overhaul?
No, Cobalt.
Cobalt. You like Cobalt?
So Overhaul's cool, but Cobalt's British. I do like a British robot.
Disgusting. So Cobalt, let's do Cobalt first. I'm going to put it to the side, Cobalt. Let's do Overhaul. Overhaul was on last BattleBots. Last time the robot was pretty sort of ragamuffin last time. It was very sort of bashed together. And
is this the team that became loads of teams?
Exactly. So this is got Charles Guan, who's a sort of electronics wizard when it comes to brushless motors.
He's like the
roboteering community.
The guy in the roboteering community, right? He's like the poster boy for the roboteering community.
Exactly. He's that poster boy, and he's also very good with electronics. And he's pioneering brushless motor controllers at the moment, I believe.
And they're the thing to have.
And this one here, Overhaul, is driven all on brushless motors, I believe.
Lovely.
I think there may be one brushed motor in there, but rest is all brushless, which is why it's got a much lower profile. It's smaller because you get a lot more power in a brushless motor. You've got some lovely, great big wear plate wedges sticking out the front.
It is heavy duty stuff.
And
it looks like you could never destroy this thing.
Exactly.
My only gripe with this is where's the offense coming from?
Well, it's complete control.
Yep. Similar sort of thing.
Very similar sort of thing.
But then
grab and lift.
Then you're kind of relying on having to use the environmental.
Oh yeah, but remember, it doesn't have the.
It's not going to crush you, is it? I don't.
Yeah, but it's
think, and it's not going to.
So because once it's grabbed and lifted, the other one has a flamethrower, it can burn you, but this one is just going to have you there. But he may be able to. He can feed you into the hammers. He can feed you into the screws.
Exactly, that's what I mean. You're going to have to rely on.
You definitely are into the actual arena. Yeah,
hazards,
definitely.
The fight.
So we've got here. No, we haven't done the fight yet. We haven't done the other one, have we? So
who cares about that one? It's just
you said it was one of your favourite
British team.
So what have we got here? Cobalt. And let's look at Cobalt.
We've
got a giant E-Tech motor in the back of this. People call this the British Tombstone. It's got let me see now. It has NPC Robotics T64 motors driving its wheels, which is
the T64s.
Classic motor. And look at that amazing bar hammer. Which comes from wearpartsuk.co.uk.
Wearpartsuk.co.uk.
Indeed. How
much did you get paid for that one?
Oh.
Sorry? What? And am I going to get my cut this time?
Wearpartsuk.co.uk. Great laser cutting metal.
I heard you've been mentioning teams, saying how much you love them. They're sending you T-shirts.
No.
Women are sending you flowers. And here's me. I'm doing all the donkey work.
Well,
Not
I'll tell
getting
you what.
anything. Not getting the sponsorship money that you're getting.
Yeah, but you need to start.
You turned up in a Ferrari today.
You need to start. You need to start getting it out there.
Sick of it.
You just need to mention
And
a few people.
I'm not going to break away. No one will listen to just me doing the show.
So,
But I'll think about breaking away. Maybe Dave Moles will join me.
now, you saw him with his lovely...
I saw him. I'd say he was a much more attractive man than you.
I disagree with that.
And I think he's more charismatic, likeable. I'm going to do Inside the Bot with Dave Moles.
And you want a T-shirt by the sound of it.
I'd love a T-shirt.
Well, we don't do things for free T-shirts.
No, obviously we don't. We definitely would not. I mean, if any team contacted us and said, we want to send you a free T-shirt, we'd have to say no. So
No.
just again, do not contact us offering us free T-shirts.
No, we mustn't be...
At insidethebot@gmail.com. just stop it.
So let's move on from this shameless advertising. So moving on from Cobalt...
No, we'd still talk about Cobalt. Amazing.
ssclaser.co.uk.
You're reading out.
Just a few. It's just
Stop.
We're going to go for the fight. Now, do you know
No,
what?
I want to talk about the protected wheels.
Oh, of course. So,
It's got protected wheels.
and do you know why it's got protected wheels?
Because it's British.
Exactly. So there's definitely a thing here, isn't there?
They've got protected wheels.
They do
as
have
well.
protected wheels, but they're very tiny.
But they're an impenetrable fortress. We should expect that from them.
Like Hal's moving castle. Except that's
But it's a
different.
robot.
And not got a chimney.
Why doesn't it have a chimney?
Now, you see, every time I look at Overhaul, I'm going to think of Hal's Moving Castle, which is... have you seen the film?
No.
It's an excellent film.
Is that a Studio Ghibli film?
I think it is. I think it is.
No, I haven't seen it. I'll have to watch it this weekend now.
We're going to be making people bored, but it's got filled-in wheels.
The match itself, Overhaul is taking hits like a champ.
Oh, do you know what? Overhaul must be built like a tank, or Cobalt isn't hitting very hard, and I'm not sure which one's which.
I've got a feeling Dave knows how to build a robot.
So,
And Sam Smith.
do you know what
Dave Moulds and Sam Smith.
So, and Sam often gets forgotten, and you know why? He's very quiet.
The quiet Sam Smith, but obviously talented. He keeps Dave in check, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the dynamic's like there.
Well, we don't know.
But I think they built a cracker.
Do you think they've got a cracker?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
It is a cracker. Though not to knock Charles, who's built an amazing...
And Charles knows bots.
He knows bots. So he's built an amazing bot which can take a lot of hits, and it clearly does take a lot of hits.
Oh, it takes so many hits. And you kind of feel like it's going to destroy Cobalt because...
Definitely. And do you know what? When you see Cobalt launched into the air off those wedges...
I was kind of worried because...
It's like flying in the air.
I was ready to see it go out.
And then we get smoke pouring out of Cobalt, don't we?
Yeah, which made me even more worried.
So then I was thinking, shoot, I'm not sure who's going to win, how is it going to work?
What are Dave and Sam going to do now?
They're going, oh my God.
And then they kind of got a bit lucky.
They definitely did. Because you've got... Overhaul there just seems to stop. Now, it must have taken some heavy damage, and we actually don't know because we couldn't see it properly.
They felt sorry for Cobalt for coming all that way.
Oh, maybe that. And let them go through, you mean?
There is the human aspect here, yeah. They were like, oh, we'll be fine for a wild card, but these Cobalt boys...
Oh, they may not get a wild card, so let them go through.
They were like, oh.
Okay. Well, that's really nice of them.
Yeah, thanks, Overhaul. It gives us someone to root for.
So we're going to call Cobalt Smoky Cobalt from now on.
Oh, the old Smoky.
Old Smoky.
Old Smoky.
There you go.
But that was a good fight.
Then we're going to go into the next lot. Now that is a Razorback v Saw Blaze. So let's talk about the bots.
I'm not ecstatic about either of them.
No?
Not really. So
you can't point and
Razorback,
say this because no one can see
this thing here on the left. No, Razorback. It doesn't. In the actual episode, doesn't have the same weapon on the front.
Again, remember they call this
the one on the BattleBots.
This is another Swiss Army bot.
Swiss Army bot. And this comes back to the theme of an overly complicated thing that doesn't need to be that complicated.
Yeah. But I really like Razorback when it's still, because it's got a lot of what we call stance. It looks mean and feisty, and the way its wheels are raised up and it's got its little jaws open. But it didn't come in, that came with the drum, didn't it? Which actually didn't seem to be...
It had a drum spinner, yeah.
Drum spinner running on that.
Modular design on it.
Yeah, they can replace the middle parts. And then we've got Saw Blaze, which was a offshoot of the
And I did like this, actually.
Overhaul
I wasn't crazy about both of them, but I like Saw Blades more.
He's pretty handy when he's moving about. It's got a good drive in it.
Really nice moving about.
I like the way that the saw goes right back out the back of it and hangs out the back.
I worry about when they have a movable part.
Yeah.
It just seems like one more thing to snap off.
Well, it definitely is. But that's what makes robots exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Otherwise, we'll end up with triangle boxes knocking into each other. That's where it goes to, which no one wants.
But it's keeping it as simple as it can be.
Okay. And
it worries me sometimes when they've got a movable part that doesn't seem to need to be that movable.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And maybe this does it just articulate in one place?
Well, it's self-writer as well. Remember.
Okay. So quite a maybe needlessly, potentially movable saw. Needlessly complicated.
Well, we know, of course, as soon as... Well, then we're getting to the fight.
We're getting to the fight. It's got a wedge on it for the fight.
It's got a wedge on it for the fight because it hasn't got that three-pronged front thing. It's got like a bucket on the front of it, hasn't it?
Probably because it's facing a front spinner.
Of course. Yes, indeed. But when he starts to drive, can we do the fight now?
On to the fight.
On to the fight. When he starts to drive, he is handy as you like, isn't he? He's drifting He's drifting it round the corners.
He is.
He's all over
outclassing him, bullying him.
Outclassed him completely.
Pushing him around.
And I'd say that's why they chopped this fight down, because it was pretty much Saw Blaze owning the whole fight. Now, I'm going to still call that he did own the fight. From what we saw, he was all over him, wasn't he? And then he did the cut into it, and it moved and it hit his drum.
He hit his drum. And his saw was knackered.
It was broken. But then we must have a controversial judge's decision here, because they are then filmed in the arena looking at damage.
They're all, and
it's damage from primary weapons, and I think that saw thing was probably the thing that the broken saw was what swung it for.
Razorback got the decision from the judges. And you've got to say, we looked at that saw.
Oh, this is another saw bot, isn't it?
Another saw bot. Oh, you're obsessed with those.
And it didn't work properly. Although I still maintain...
they don't work. Sawbots don't work. Stop making them unless you're making dead metal, because it's awesome.
And do you know what's different about dead metal?
Oh.
What does dead metal do that the others don't?
It grabs them.
It grabs them.
You know what would be cool?
What?
If Warhead made a sawbot.
Warhead, you must now make a grabbing sawbot.
And if...
Immediately.
We've been talking about guests for the show.
Yes.
If we get Warhead on...
We're going to enforce them.
We'll make them promise to make a sawbot.
Exactly. But with pincers.
With pincers? Because they know how to pince.
They do, don't they?
They've done
a lot of pincing, grabbing and crushing, and now they just need to do some sawing.
Yes. They know what to do.
Exactly.
They're kind of stuck with that old robot frame.
What do you mean old robot? Don't
it
start
just feels
knocking
like
Warhead.
No, I love Warhead.
Good.
That was the coolest fight last episode.
Exactly.
And they're my favourite.
Good.
Okay. Razorback beat Saw Blaze. Primary weapon usage. Makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Well, now that we know that they're looking for that, that's fine.
We know what they're judging.
Because it was cool that it was pushing it around, but it didn't get the blows. Match 7. Oh dear. Oh dearie me.
Now you have got a thing against Rex, haven't you?
I haven't. I haven't.
It's painted red, which you like.
I mean,
it's
it's
nice.
Great. Paint it red. Give it some wheels. Give it some wheels.
But the whole idea of Rex is a walking robot.
I do like the idea of...
And it does actually articulate itself. Oh, it does articulate itself round. It can perambulate. I wouldn't say walking. I don't think it walks.
I'd call it a stumble bot.
Yeah, or a perambulation bot.
It's a flops about.
A flops about. That's it. There you go.
It's a flops a bot.
Flops a bot. It's got the same body. Yeah. I think definitely the same disc. What they've improved, however, is that walking mechanism.
So that was an improvement.
Well, you remember last year it could hardly go anywhere.
Okay. So my problem with this, I'm okay with having like a weird bot, but this one, is it that much different than last year that they weren't letting it in again?
Well, it's totally different, isn't it? It's not like anything else.
It is, but they've given it a go. It didn't win last year.
No.
I would love for it to be really good and just kind of walk around. It'd be really cool. But it's always going to get outmaneuvered.
It definitely is. If you've got wheels or tracks, it's going to be...
The ability to turn and control how much you're turning
is always a thing.
It's always a good thing.
Definitely. I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that.
Red Devil.
What do you think?
It's all right.
Well, it's beautiful. There's an amazing amount of skill in this build. I mean,
but this comes back to the overly complicated thing.
it is very complicated.
Does it need to have those weird tracks that kind of flop about?
Oh, actually,
Do they need to flop
if you
about?
saw them, how they work, and if that robot had a chance to actually do its dynamic changing, then you'd have seen a lot more happening there. Okay. Jerome here, he loves his complicated machining.
Yeah.
He loves putting so much effort into things, and they get trashed or blown up or thorn, then he goes for it again. So,
but this is like this. I think this is the fight I'm thinking of when I say this episode is all about overcomplicated failures.
What?
Not looking at Red Devil, but Rex.
Okay.
Because
are we getting to the fight?
Let's just talk Sawbot.
Oh, there's another Sawbot.
Sawbot on a grabber.
But this one's got a clamp.
It's got a clamp. So maybe it will do a bit better.
Did it though?
On to the fight.
Okay, let's do the fight. Go.
And did it though?
Yeah.
Did it even get a chance to? Because Rex straight away flopped about, pointed at the wall, and then just ran at the wall.
That was hilarious.
If Rex was a child, Rex would have to wear a helmet.
It did. It just...
His parents would be like, no, put this helmet on. I'm in the house. I know you're in the house. Put the helmet on.
It did just headbutt. It just charged off to the side.
I think they gave it a can of Coke and some sweets before the fight.
It went crazy.
It was just like, oh,
but we didn't really see much of this fight at all.
No.
I didn't see what happened. I couldn't really work out anything that was happening.
I could work out that Rex
destroyed itself.
And then, Red Devil outmaneuvered it, basically. Knocked it about a bit. And then Rex was immobilised. Didn't really see the saw come into play.
No.
I think he might have had a little go at grinding the leg.
Right, okay, but not... to be honest,
I think he really needed to have a go at much.
No.
So we'll see more of Red Devil.
Definitely.
It's through.
Yeah. Oh, Match 8. Now, what you've got here is you've got Witch Doctor, who were on the last season, and you've got Rotator. Let's look at Witch Doctor. So Witch Doctor is a brand new robot. It's been remade. It's got a totally different, much wider sort of drumette now. So it's gone off of being a disc.
Kind of like a couple of discs, isn't it?
So a couple of discs with a bit of a drum between them for spinning. It's gone away from the skull and it's got more of a sort of freaky face.
Yeah.
It's got a self-writer now.
Oh yeah.
So it's not going to have any of that.
It kind of has got a chimney.
There's a little chimney, but this one is a little
functional chimney.
Exactly. So
front spinner. They went with it has still got its little buddy Shaman.
Remember last year this Witch Doctor went up against Tombstone and did really well, didn't it? Until it got upended. It would have beaten Tombstone if it hadn't got upended. So this is a very good robot. Rotator.
Hang on, we're not finished with Witch Doctor.
Oh, what?
Because it's got exposed wheels.
Oh, of course.
And we need to talk about that.
Again,
because exposed wheels are a feature of this fight.
They are indeed,
but not
aren't
on
they?
Witch Doctor's part.
Because if you're going to have exposed wheels, you've got to be able to drive like a hero.
You have to be so good at driving.
Exactly.
I mean, you might even have to put a disc on each side of you to protect your wheels, but then still be so bad at driving. Sorry, I'm getting into the fight.
I think we should go on to Rotator.
No, they went with a beefed up wedge instead of having their little body shape.
Yeah, so what they can do here, if they're going up against the big spinner, they can take little Shaman away. And I love this because this is where you play your multi-bot properly, because what you do is you take your multi-bot off and you put a monstrous piece of iron plate or steel wear plate in front of you.
And that's what they did. So in what situation would they rather have Shaman than have a massive plate on the front?
So Shaman before had a big old flamethrower on him.
Yeah, and they said they've got a little surprise on this year, so we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But Shaman's really good because it can wedge itself underneath other robots. It can obviously get underneath them and burn them. So
yeah, can you think of a robot where you'd rather have Shaman and Witch Doctor than Witch Doctor with a massive plate on the front?
Bronco. Remember, Witch Doctor fought Bronco before.
All right.
And then actually, you're doing okay.
I'll agree with that, yeah.
So it is about choice. And I like the fact that they can multi-bot up, but they can actually choose to be the right weight and get rid of the multi-bot.
That's really cool. So we might see and it is the only multi-bot that went far last year.
Definitely.
So we might see some good plays from them.
I hope so.
This year. Rotator.
Yeah. Rotator looks very well made, doesn't it? And it's actually...
I really like the look of this one, and then...
what I like about it is it's like two middleweight robots that have been fused together into the middle.
It's pretty cool.
Because if you cut them down that way, They would be 2 disc spinners. Now, what you are doing is... do you know what? I'm not sure. Do these discs, I can't really see, do they counter-rotate? Because that might help with your steering.
I didn't see it. I didn't even think to look.
But I just thought of it now.
But they didn't have discs in the fight.
They didn't, did they? They changed over to bars. Now, I wonder why.
I wonder why. We'll never find out.
But anyway, quite a powerful robot,
yeah, we saw
well made.
It could destroy a printer.
It could destroy a printer. Oh, yes, it beat a printer up, didn't it?
Beat a printer up, which is really good if you want to get rid of a printer. Do you think driving it would be a problem as it goes both ways?
Well, yes.
Does that confuse you as a robot here?
Yes, it definitely does. Because if you're driving, you know you've got your way up and you know which way's forward.
Yeah.
However, if you turn it over, forward is now backwards.
Now a question about
and left and right is backwards as well.
Do you think when they place it on the ground, they know which way is forwards and which way is backwards?
Well, I'm hoping that those yellow marks on top are not repeated on the other side, and it might be a different colour.
It is. It's gold and then silver.
Ah, there you go. So they know which way up it is.
Because I was confused. Why start it sideways? I'm getting onto the fight.
Okay, we'll go on to the fight.
Why start it sideways?
It started sideways, didn't it? What's the point of that?
It's like saying, we're going to pick our weakest point and face it at your robot.
Maybe they had it sideways because they wanted to wind the discs up and they didn't want them forwards.
I cannot think of any logical reason why you'd face the weakest part of your robot. You'd rather they came and hit your disc.
Yes, of course. But we'll never know.
And the front disc, if you face that lower disc forwards, your rear one's still going to spin up.
Exactly.
I don't know. It seems like the whole point of this robot is having no weak point on either end.
But then you leave the side.
And then they showed it the weak point, the weakest point, which is the side. Unprotected wheels.
Crazy.
Idiots. Honestly.
That's a bit harsh. Crazy.
That is a bit of a personal attack.
It is.
But, come on.
This fight.
What are you doing? You're not protecting your wheels?
Let's do the fight. The fight is over.
I've started because I said they started it sideways.
Yeah, they started it sideways, and it's over in about 10 seconds, isn't it? Witch Doctor, well driven, straight in there, rips a wheel off.
I'm most annoyed about this because I liked this robot.
Okay.
I saw it and then I was like, it might do really well because it's got like a spinner on each end.
Yeah.
But kind of, it looked a bit better than that Chrome Fly one.
That was terrible.
It's still in, right? It's still in.
Is it?
It beat Bucktooth Bell because Bucktooth Bell didn't even start.
Exactly.
So it's still stop dissing the robots.
It makes me furious. Anyway, that's done.
So I really liked it, and then it kind of made me angry because it was bad.
There you go.
Not a bad robot, but badly driven, badly executed. It took a wheel off, didn't it?
It did, and that was it.
Witch Doctor, and that was it. Rotator got counted out.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
And that was all 8 fights.
That's done
in this episode.
So what have we got to look forward to?
Oh no! Stop, Gabe.
What are we doing?
That was all 8 fights in
Yes.
this episode. But we had some interesting revelations at the end of the episode.
Oh, indeed we did.
The wild cards were revealed.
Can you list them for me?
Shall we go through the wild cards?
Yeah.
No, I thought we'd go through the wild cards.
Yeah.
And I thought what we would do is go through the not wild cards. But not all of them, because some of them it makes sense that they would not go through.
Yeah.
The wild cards that did go through, Blacksmith.
Amazing skills there to come back.
So happy that Blacksmith is back.
Exactly. And let's hope he gets his fury back.
I think actually the robot itself went and spoke to the selection committee.
Oh, and said, I'm sorry about that.
No, it didn't say a word. It just flamed.
Oh, and they went.
And they were like, all right, buddy.
In you go.
Go on.
All right.
Because obviously it had no flame in the fight.
And then
everyone called into question his attitude. I think, as a lot of commentators have said that, and this has been all over the internet, the attitude of the robot's been poor lately. But
he said
he went and spoke to the selection committee.
I'm trying to sort it out.
He's been in rehab, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's had some troubles.
Let's hope he can get furious again.
I wish him the best for next round.
Definitely.
Lucky.
So we've got Lucky.
So Lucky.
Which is what was Ziggy.
I can tell you some stuff about Lucky. And now I know that Lucky is Lucky, which used to be Ziggy. And not Bronco. Sorry, everyone.
So
Lucky went through.
Ghost Raptor. If he can fix it, amazing.
Do you think that's a good decision?
Oh, yeah, definitely. He did really well last time, yeah. Yeah.
Do you reckon that's more on his previous
and his robot
rather than
his robot can adapt and can change. So that's a good one, I think.
I think it would be cool to see it work, and maybe that's what they're thinking as well.
Definitely.
Give them another chance to show everyone that it can work. Megatento, so happy.
There you go. That's coming back. The big sandpit.
I love the sandpit based muncher.
Yeah.
Bombshell.
Good solid robot to come back. Bombshell. I'm pleased that's coming back because it means
Bombshell's got the axe. It's got the air buddy. That Bombshell?
Yes, axe and an air buddy. But it's got other weapons, hasn't it? Which we're going to see.
Hopefully. It's got a Swiss Army bot.
Swiss Army bot. Yeah, exactly. But nicely made.
Nightmare. Kind of. I think back on its former credit rather than this season.
Definitely.
Because it flamed.
And people love Nightmare as well. Yeah.
This is a popular bot. Lockjaw.
Definitely needs another shot.
So cool. Hopefully it'll get that flipper working.
Let's hope so.
Overhaul.
Definitely. I think it did really well. It's definitely one to come forward.
I'm just worried about its offensive capabilities.
Well,
if it's not facing a spinner, what's it going to do?
Let's see who he fights, and let's see what happens.
Okay. The non-wild cards that we're sad about. We've got Sawblade, we've got a Sawbot going out.
Do you know what?
Rotator, that's fine. Mobius, fine.
I'm not missing anyone
Rex,
from there.
Mohawk.
No, I'm not missing anyone from there.
People were saying Disco Inferno maybe should have gone through, but
no.
Just because it was a close fight. But on the whole, looking at the whole competition, there's no reason why that would go through.
No,
anything else.
Definitely.
What about our buddies Photon Storm?
But
because I think they got torn apart by one of the favourites.
They did.
But if you can get torn apart by one of the favourites, then you can get torn apart by anyone else.
Exactly.
So,
and they may have been broken beyond repair. We don't know.
Yeah.
There's no way of knowing.
It's a shame that Black Ice is out.
Black Ice does not need to be going anywhere.
And Death Roll obviously not coming back because that was trash.
Exactly.
That is all the wild cards.
Right. What are we on next?
So next week, 4 fights next week.
Okay.
Yeti and Lucky.
Yeah.
Bronco and Cronefly.
Yeah.
Minotaur and Blacksmith.
That's going to be an amazing fight.
That is going to be a brutal fight.
Yeah.
Witch Doctor and Red Devil.
Okay, we can. That's going to be a good fight as well.
So next week, just 4 fights.
Okay.
Do you think we might have a guest next week?
We may try for a guest. We'll see what happens.
You really want a guest?
Okay, we'll see what happens.
It'd be cool if we could get one.
Okay.
And then, should we do questions?
We're going in questions.
We had a question about our question from last week.
Oh, an email.
Hi, Gabe and Will. Just thought I would write in about last week's question. While the question was phrased badly, I feel it was handled just as poorly. Personally, I would like to know where the numbers for bot stats come from. Regards, Stefan.
So, now we had a little bit of a complaint about that.
We were a bit mean to our questioner. Well, you were mean. I was very nice. Because I love getting questions. No. If you've got a question, please go to our Facebook page or email us.
That question was phrased badly and it did make me furious. And do you know what? I apologise unreservedly for getting angry with David's question. And what we said we will do, because Stefan's asked now as well, is we will endeavour to find out exactly how those numbers are put together. So we're going to put some feelers out and we're going to actually come up with some actual to really cement that hard science, which I still believe.
You still believe there's some hard science
exactly.
going on there.
So we're going to save that one up for the moment.
That's great.
And we'll come back to you.
So look forward to that potentially next week where we find out inside the numbers.
Inside the numbers. That'll be perfect.
That will be
there you go.
Right. If you have any questions or comments or feedback,
please give us a shout.
You can get in touch with us at insidethebot@gmail.com. You can go on our Facebook. You can tweet us. You can go on our website when it's back up.
And it's always Inside the Bot.
Inside the Bot.
Excellent.
InsideTheBot.com, at Inside the Bot, Inside the Bot on Facebook, YouTube, Inside the Bot, Instagram, Inside the Bot.
We're
everywhere. We're Inside the Bot everywhere. Right. And that is everything for this week.
So,
thanks for listening.
Take care. I'm Gabe.
And I'm Will. And this has been Inside the Bot.